Okay, Amy. Tell me how come you picked... We'll start with Kentucky.
I picked Kentucky because they were ranked number 1.
Okay, number 1 ranking. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
How come UConn?
Because I live next to Iowa, and I just went with this one.
You
I don't know why.
You live next to Iowa, so you'd rather have UConn.
UConn. It's better to say. I don't know. UConn.
Okay.
UConn.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Sounds good.
Okay, Wichita State over VCU.
I went with Wichita because it's down south of us.
Okay, because it's south of us.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know who VCU is.
Virginia Commonwealth.
Okay.
All right. Okay, how about Indiana? Why did we take Indiana?
I picked Indiana over New Mexico because I lived in New Mexico and I don't remember them ever being very good.
Okay.
But then when I went over here, I felt guilty. When I went over here, I felt really bad, so I let them win on that one.
Oh, you let New Mexico win on that one because
Yes.
you lived there.
Yes. And I felt bad about not picking them there.
All right. So let's go back up here to Kentucky over UConn.
Okay, Kentucky over UConn because they're number 1. So I just went bloop 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 bloop.
Okay.
Like that. So
But you took you took Indiana over Wichita.
That was just I felt like riding Indiana.
You felt like riding Indiana. Okay. Let's go down to UNLV over Colorado.
Where's that at? I don't like Colorado.
Okay.
The state. So
You don't
I
like the
picked
state, so
UNLV. Which later I found out that's Las Vegas.
Which is even better.
Which that makes me want it even more.
Okay, great. All right, how about
Baylor over South Dakota because it's South Dakota.
Yeah, and they can't have good
Nobody
players.
even lives there.
It's true.
Okay.
So how could they have a good basketball
Exactly.
team? Exactly. All right.
So I went with Baylor and then UNLV.
Because you like...
Well, I just Baylor because nobody can live in South Dakota. There's hardly any people in South Dakota.
That's
They're not going to have very many people to play the game.
But you took UNLV over Baylor. Why?
I don't know why. I think I just wanted to write that again.
You wanted to write UNLV because it's good. It's
I don't even know. I don't know.
It's a good acronym. Yeah.
And then again, I went Kentucky.
Well, you skipped Notre Dame and Duke.
Oh, down here. I went with Duke because it's a fragrance that we have with Scentsy. I thought...
They have Duke.
Lehigh, never heard of it.
Okay.
Never even heard of that. So I went with Duke. That's a good fragrance from Scentsy.
Okay.
I went with Notre Dame because Regis always likes them.
Regis likes Notre Dame. That's a good way to pick them.
And then instead of letting them win, I let Duke win the fragrance. And then I went with UNLV just because it was fun to write.
Okay.
And
great.
Then, of course, I did the Kentucky.
Because they're number 1.
Because they're number 1.
All right. Great. Okay, we're going to go to Michigan State. And Long Island University.
Yeah, it says Brooklyn right there. Honey.
Yeah, and you don't like Brooklyn.
Well, it's New York.
Okay.
And so, I don't know, it's cold there.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Absolutely. It's warm in Michigan, yeah.
Memphis and St. Louis. I went with St. Louis because we drove, remember when we drove through there?
Yeah, we drove through, we did drive through St. Louis and they have the art.
We went for that.
So that will make them beat Memphis, absolutely.
And then Michigan.
Okay. Because
there's a lot of black people
there. A lot of black people in Michigan, so they're going to be good. They got to be good. Very good.
This is one where I felt bad, so I put...
Because you lived in New Mexico, so they're better than Long Beach State.
Yeah. Louisville.
Okay.
We drove through Louisville, remember?
We almost drove through Louisville.
We didn't... Oh.
But
the
that's
other
still
choice
good
is
enough.
Davidson, and I've never heard of that.
Okay, so we almost drove through Louisville. That's a good reason to take them. And New Mexico, because you lived there.
And...
But Michigan State, just because there's a lot of
because
black
I
people.
know that New Mexico's probably not going to win because when I lived there, they weren't very good for anything. What are they, Lobos? Or what are they?
Is New Mexico State Lobos or New Mexico
I don't know.
Running Red? I don't know. Okay, so Murray State and Colorado State.
I don't like Colorado very much. It's cold.
Okay, how about Marquette over the winner of BYU and Iona?
Well, this confused me.
The slash is confused, yes. I think BYU just won.
I went with Marquette because Marquette, fancy.
It's a fancy name, absolutely. Is it fancier than Murray State? Is that
yes, Murray. That's, yeah.
Okay.
Marquette.
And the only reason to pick Murray is because Colorado sucks.
Because I don't like Colorado.
Okay.
Only went with Murray for that reason. So then we went Marquette and Marquette and Marquette. See how I did that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So because you really like the name Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
Marquette. Okay. Florida
over Virginia. Florida's beautiful.
It is. You got to take them because it's nice weather.
And Norfolk.
Yeah, Norfolk. Yeah, Norfolk State. You knew they wouldn't be any good.
They're not going to be good.
Missouri. All right, Missouri.
Missouri, Florida, Missouri, always. And then Marquette.
Marquette, obviously. And then Marquette and Michigan State. You just like to write that. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you came up to Kentucky and Marquette. And you took Kentucky.
I took Kentucky because I've been number 1.
That's true.
So.
You got to keep them going, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well. Now tell me why you took Syracuse over UNC Asheville.
I don't know. Because I like that word Asheville.
You like that word Asheville, so they wouldn't
because
be any good.
Do you remember when I don't know why I did that. It just my kind of. Why did I do that?
Because Syracuse is rated number 1.
Okay, then that's why I did it. That's why. Yes, that's right. Because there's a 1 right there.
Right. So you took them because of the 1. All right. Okay, you took K-State over Southern Miss.
Yes.
Because
Kansas is close to us, and Mississippi's far away.
That's probably slightly true.
I went with Kansas. Went with Kansas because they lost their player.
They did lose their best player. That's a really good.
Okay.
Really good. It's Kansas State. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll put that on there.
That's okay. Vanderbilt and Harvard.
Harvard's maybe a little snootier than Vanderbilt.
They probably are a little snootier.
Went with Vanderbilt.
Okay. It's a good
and
thing.
I went with them like 3 times.
Whoa,
so.
You really did. You really don't think they're very snooty. All right. Wisconsin and Montana.
I drove to Wisconsin with Holly one time.
Okay.
It was fun.
So they're a funner state to drive to.
Yeah. I've never been to Montana. But I went with Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Because they have a castle. Did you know they have a castle?
The Vanderbilt Castle, yes, absolutely.
So there they are.
Okay. All right. And then
Cincinnati in Texas. Cincinnati because it has 2 N's. I was like, I did not know that it had 2 N's.
So Cincinnati has 2 N's, therefore they will beat Texas in the first round. And you just said you didn't like Texas, I thought.
I don't like Texas because they are cocky. They seem cocky in all their sports, every sport. So I don't have them winning. I have Cincinnati winning.
Okay.
This one, Florida State and St. Bonaventure.
Okay.
Who's names their team St. Bonaventure? That's dumb. And I was like, I'm not even going to vote for them.
Okay, so Florida State wins by default.
Yes.
Okay.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's...
All right, so then with these two, again, I wanted to write the 2 N's.
You wanted to write 2 N's, Cincinnati. It kind of rolls off your tongue.
It does.
Yeah. So you picked Cincinnati because it's fun to say.
I did. And write. I like to write it.
And you like to write it. Gonzaga.
And West Virginia.
Yes.
That's in Africa, I think.
Gonzaga's in Africa.
I'm going to go with them.
So West Virginia's probably going to win.
I picked West Virginia over that one because it sounds very foreign.
Okay.
Same with this. Loyola,
Maryland?
I went with Ohio for that reason.
State, because you don't know where it's at.
I've
never heard of Loyola.
You know what it sounds like? Canola.
Canola oil. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Ohio State can definitely breeze through the canola oil. Yeah. Great. Okay,
but then I was like, Ohio, well, I think they were ranked. Are they number 2 or something?
Yeah.
They were ranked pretty good.
Ranked pretty
so
good,
I went Ohio. Just like that. As a matter of fact, I just took them all the way.
Because they were...
No reason. Just did.
Because they...
Just did it.
They were number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I let them win.
So you let them win.
Down here, North Carolina and Lamar.
Vermont winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went with North Carolina because we lived there.
We lived there.
And I was partial to it. But then I come down here and I seen Creighton in Alabama. I have to go with Creighton because it's in Nebraska.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to do that. But then I had North Carolina and Creighton. I struggled really bad with that.
Okay.
Because I'm partial to both of them. I went with North Carolina because they probably have more black people.
As we found out.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a lot.
All right. Well, that's not racist at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Temple.
Over California, South Florida winner. Okay. Because...
I liked, when you were talking Temple, I was like, that sounds really cool. It sounds like a Mayan temple.
Oh, okay. Mayan temple. So that's a good...
And on The Bachelor, they went to a Mayan temple.
On The Bachelor, went to a Mayan temple, so they will be will be moving on.
Ben took Courtney to a Mayan temple.
Yes.
Which, remember, I said, you never took me to a Mayan temple.
That's right. I have not. And I will not. Okay.
We'll see. Ohio and Michigan.
Yeah.
I went with Ohio.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
You have no reason for that
no,
whatsoever.
No rhyme or reason. Oh, I know. I looked at this and I thought, no matter what, I'm going to have North Carolina win it anyway.
Okay.
Whoever this didn't even matter.
Okay.
Because I just kind of wrote some stuff here because I was like, I'm going to have North Carolina win it
okay.
all the way to here.
Okay.
So
great.
I just was like...
Well, you know what? That's a good strategy.
Yeah. So then San Diego and North Carolina State. North Carolina again. This is in California.
Yes.
Went with North Carolina, the other coast.
Okay.
Georgetown. We looked at an apartment at Georgetown.
We looked at Georgetown apartments, so that ring a bell. So that makes them
so they
good enough to beat Belmont and North Carolina
State. Well, they look how Georgetown,
and Kansas.
Yeah.
Good thing. Yeah.
But I just wrote those in there just because we did look at an apartment.
We did. Okay. Maybe we should have looked at the Kansas apartments.
I don't think there are any. Purdue, St. Mary's. St. Mary's is in O'Neill. We have St. Mary's High School.
Yes, you do.
And I thought, how neat.
So,
St. Mary's.
Since there's a high school, St. Mary's, in O'Neill, where you're from, that makes them better than Purdue.
Yes.
Oh. Interesting.
Detroit, Kansas. Again, Kansas is close to us. Detroit, not so much.
Detroit and Kansas could be about the same distance. I'm not sure.
Really? No.
Oh, okay.
St. Mary's, I gave them that win right there, but then I was like, they're probably not very good.
Okay.
So I went with Kansas.
Yeah.
And then I went with Georgetown, obviously, because I like to write that.
Right.
And then I went with North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then I had to decide between Ohio and North Carolina. I went with Ohio.
Okay. So back on North Carolina against Georgetown. So living in North Carolina trumps looking at Georgetown apartments.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important.
We didn't ever move into those.
And then North Carolina, Ohio State wins that one because
I went with them. I don't know why. I just feel it.
You feel Ohio. You're feeling them.
I feel it.
Apparently, because you took them over Kentucky, who was your number one.
I know, but crazy things happen.
All right, and that's the final score that you said.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't know what to pick. So
you had no idea.
I just randomly picked some numbers. And there.
That is why my wife Amy picked the teams that she did for the 2012 tournament.
That's my reasoning.
She'll probably win.
Please don't copy me.
See ya.